When people hear the word pagan, they think of devil worship, naked rituals, or witchy TikToks. But that's not the truth. Let's untangle the myths from the real meaning of paganism. In this video, we'll explore the real roots of pagan traditions. Paganism isn't what Hollywood says it is. Earth-based, diverse, and deeply spiritual, and how pop culture often gets it wrong. The word pagan has been hijacked by Hollywood tropes, internet fluff, and shallow TikTok trends. And I'm not here to gatekeep. I'm here to protect truth, honor the ancestors, and give the curious a compass. Real traditions, especially the old ones, deserve more than fantasy fillers and mispronounced memes. Have you ever believed something like the Celts had a tree calendar, or you pronounced a thame instead of a thami? It's not your fault, but it's time to go deeper. Have you ever mispronounced Gaelic words like Samhain in Irish or Sovereign in Scottish, but you've pronounced it Samhain? Or Beltania or Beltan, and you've pronounced it Beltane? When I've gently corrected younger seekers, they have responded mostly with, "There's no right or wrong way to practice." That phrase can be true in personal expression, but when it's used to ignore real languages or sacred names or cultural roots, it becomes a way to just avoid accountability. Because when you dismiss a pronunciation that's been held in a culture for centuries, you're not just expressing yourself. You're telling that culture it doesn't matter. When someone throws up a pentacle or chants over moon water and says they're doing a Celtic love spell, it might look cool, but often it's just a blend of buzzwords that are passed around as sacred. A lot of what is being called paganism online today is really just filtered fantasy. They have real roots. When we strip away their meaning to sell crystals, we lose the soul of it. It's become a stream of tarot pulls, spell jars, moon water rituals, and a declaration of psychic gifts, often without any foundation or context. Even stuff like Celtic knotwork has been given meanings that just are not true. That was never in ancient days. True paganism isn't about performance. It's not about doing spells every day or showing off what your gifts are. It's not about what the gods can do for you. So let's step back for a moment and ask, what is paganism really? The word comes from a Latin paganus, which means country dweller. It's about building a relationship with forces far greater than yourself. The gods aren't vending machines. Paganism is a belief system, a lived way of being. It involves covens, communities, seasonal observances, initiations, ethical framework, and deep personal work. Spells don't work for people who haven't done the work on themselves. They're not powerful, clearly, or they wouldn't be asking for spells. Psychic powers don't make you better than anyone. And secret rituals aren't tools for proving how gifted you are or to make money off of the gullible people, or worse, people in pain. We're not circus animals. This isn't about personal gain. It's about responsibility and something bigger than you. Real witches don't shout or brag to others. Paganism listens. It doesn't ask, what can I get? It doesn't say you can put spells on others just because you don't like what they are doing. That's not power. That's ego. And those that do are the very people that we tried to keep away from covens in my day, because they came for the wrong reasons. This path isn't about control. It's about connection. It's about responsibility. It's about walking in the right relationship with the land, the gods, the spirits, and your own shadow. So when eclectic peeps drop Norse runes into a Wiccan ritual, or when people call anything that's green and swirly Celtic, it's not just a mistake. It's disconnection from the ancestors. But just because it's loud and often doesn't mean it's true. Take the Celtic tree calendar, for example, often taught as ancient fact. It's actually invented by Robert Graves in the 1940s. Not only did Celts never use a tree calendar, but many of the Ogham letters that he proclaims mean trees don't even mean trees at all. Like Lewis, for example, it actually means flame, not rowan. The only real Celtic calendar that we have found is called the Caligny calendar, and it has no trees on it at all. Another thing, pagan paths are not all the same. That's like saying all First Nation tribes follow one belief system. It was never one unified religion, but thousands of local traditions rooted in nature. Paganism is about honoring the land you live on, the spirits that share it, and the cycles that shape life, birth, death, and rebirth. It's earth-based, sometimes polytheistic, sometimes ancestral. Some honor one god and one goddess with many names. Others have many gods and goddesses. Some work with spirits, elements, or just the raw presence of nature. But all of our gods don't reside in a heaven somewhere. They're ancient beings, forces of nature and memory that demand humility, not wish lists. And no true pagan grovels to them like one does with the Christian God. There is no central dogma, no single prophet or holy book, but there are traditions that follow different ways, as like any tribal people. There are laws that we have to follow, even laws of magic. And one who practices lot knows this very well. There are patterns, stories, rhythms, which all go with our sacred connection to each other, the earth and its creatures. At its heart, paganism is about listening to the wind, to the soil, to the ancestors, to the soul. It's not about escaping the world or separation with hate and gossip. It's about rejoining it, soul first. It's about healing others. Let's break a few misconceptions wide open. Paganism is not devil worship. We don't believe in your God, so why the heck would we even have a devil in the Christian sense? Our horned gods and the dark goddesses represent nature's wild balance, not evil. There's day and night, summer and winter, subconscious and conscious, death and rebirth. Paganism and witchcraft are not the same. Not all pagans are witches. Some walk in devotional tribal paths, but all true witches are pagan, whether they admit it or not, because the craft is rooted in nature, spirit, and the old ways. Witches are not a gimmick to sit around and do spells for yourself or people. In fact, we hardly use spells as witches. We only use them in great need, and it's usually to help a community. Say there are fires, or say there is a drought. Paganism is not a trend. It's not an aesthetic or a rebellion against males either. Males can be witches too, and their part and gifts should always be honored and embraced. Paganism is reverence. It's remembering. It's returning to the land and the bloodline that carried these truths. And no, Christian witches, these words together doesn't make sense. You cannot follow a religion that demonized witches, burned healers, and erased traditions, and then borrow from these same traditions like it's a craft kit to buy. That's not healing. That's harm. It's not edgy. It's disrespectful. If you cast spells, follow the moon, honor ancestors, or work with spirit, you are standing on pagan ground. And that ground has been soaked in the blood of those who were condemned for doing the same. And Christianity was the most destructive throughout history. So don't treat it like a trend. Treat it like a trust, and treat it like it is. But to let you know that when I talk about going deeper, I mean it. You deserve more than surface level spells when you are exploring your path. You deserve real roots. And if this stirs something in you, good. That's your spirit waking up. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to wear a title. You don't have to be perfect. I certainly am not. But if you're drawn to these paths, not the performance, and not to have won over somebody, but the purpose, then keep going and keep listening. Keep learning what's true, what's not. This isn't about content. This is about reclamation. Now that you know that some of this isn't accurate, it becomes your responsibility to unlearn or relearn and honor the roots of what you're drawn to. That's not gatekeeping, that's guardianship. If you're willing to walk through deeper paths, even with doubts, that you're becoming part of the healing of these ancient ways. And if you want more people to find the truth, share this video with someone who needs it. Like this video, and even better, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you won't miss a thing.